questions that the clients often have is what happens to my investment or plan if something happens to you. I think it's an advisor's responsibility to make sure that the planning they're doing is not just for their lifetime, but for the lifetime of the client. So some continuity of that planning, I think, is critical in that process. And it's also important to make sure that the stakeholders in that business are also protected in regards to, family, suppliers, and clients. To me, deals with all the aspects of the things that can impact a business and business interruption, such as in the situation we're in now, as in the pandemic. It could be technology issues, whatever that is. But one of the things that we talk about as part of the continuity plan is the contingency planning, which is the effectively planning for the event of the principal's death or disability. So to me, first of all, that's the big difference between continuity and contingency planning. To me, succession planning is the whole different part of it, because it's about effectively developing a strategy which allows the advisor to exit in the matter of their choosing, where the other aspects we're talking about is the unplanned events that unfortunately can throw a business a curve or wrench in the business. A couple of things. First of all, I always find that for a lot of advisors, the priority, if you want to call it, or the to-do list, this is at the bottom of their to-do list, and they never get to the bottom of their to-do list. As much as a lot of advisors, they believe it's important, they just don't seem to be able to have a sense of urgency to come around to doing it. I think the other issue is that a lot of advisors believe that they can't be replaced. In other words, that they offer a unique proposition to their clients, and finding somebody that can replace them is going to be a challenge for them. And I certainly understand that. I mean, when advisors spend most of their careers telling clients why they're better than other advisors and why they offer something unique to them, that they actually believe that, and then it comes time to look at it as a replacement, that's the hard thing to do. So that's the hurdle they have to overcome as well. And the last one is actually finding someone that that is qualified to take over their practice as well. Three steps. The first one to me is always about drafting the actual plan itself, outlining, I refer to sometimes the last and final letter that you put together, which starts the effect of, dear executive, if you're reading this letter, it's because you've been tasked with selling my business. Here's what I want you to do. Because most advisors have personal things they'd like to make sure that is implemented and that something does happen to them, such as their staff, in some cases, whatever that is. And details, sometimes in communication. We have advisors sometimes who want to provide a personal communication to their clients if something happens to them, thanking them for the years of support and loyalty they provided them. So to me, step one is always drafting that plan. Step two then is drafting actual legal agreements that will support that plan, so that the executor at the time has been challenged with selling that business, and reads that plan. In that plan, they should be referencing something that's to the effect as, if you check in my right-hand drawer, is a natural agreement that I've negotiated with so-and-so to buy the business. And the last step to me is an effective communication plan to make sure that everyone knows, all the stakeholders that are involved know what the plan is. And to the point where I even suggest to advisors they should also be communicating to their clients as well. Because sometimes the clients, as much as you may have a few clients asking you what happens to my plan, something happens to you. If my comment has always been, if 10 clients ask you, that 100 of them are thinking about it, they just want to ask you. So to me, it's kind of a competitive advantage to tell your clients that you've taken steps to protect the planning you started with them. You said a few minutes ago, to me, the point is that the fact that as an advisor, you've done your own planning to protect the planning you're doing with your clients and the work you're starting to work with them, I think provides a competitive advantage, because you're telling your clients that their planning is important to you, and you've taken steps to protect the work you were doing with them. God forbid something happened to you and prevent you from completing the plan with them. So to me, that's a competitive advantage for sure, and it demonstrates to the clients that you have their interests in mind. To me, the contingency planning is always a three-step process. And the first step, which is the actual last and final letter or drafting a plan, to me, that's where an advisor should really start. It doesn't require anybody else to be involved. It requires sitting down with pen and paper and starting to write down, here's what I want to happen in my business, something would happen to me. And to me, that would be the first step to outline what you want in place. And then the challenge becomes to make sure that you've got all the pieces necessary to support the plan that you've outlined. So for anybody that's struggling, sit down, draft your plan, and then go from there.